Hi guys, this is Alex with Home on the Range. I'm here with my son Luke and my daughter Maddie. Maddie, you want to come say hi?
Hi.
So we're going to talk about a firearm today and a little bit about firearm safety. We haven't done this before. We've never done a YouTube video before, so we decided we were going to start a channel as a family. So Luke, if you want to pan over here and come take a look at what we're talking about. This is a Glock 43X. It is in Desert Tan. As you can see, a few things have been done to it. Not too much, but a little bit. But first and foremost, firearm safety. Let's check it. We're empty and clear. We have nothing in the chamber. We have nothing in the mag well. We also want to show you both mags that we're going to be talking about today are completely empty as well. And let's just rack this a few times, show that we're empty. So the reason that we wanted to do a review on these, and we kind of wanted to do like a father-son review, is because I wanted to get an idea of someone who has a vast, experience with firearms, and someone who has a very little experience with firearms, but yet get an opinion of both and try to help you guys better decide what you may think is good for you or your family. One of the things that I found is there's a stigma with firearms nowadays and children, and with all the things that have been happening in the world out there. And I wanted to show you, maybe a different outlook on that and how things can go when you have, a family that teaches their kids about it properly and engages them in not only what the firearms do, but the sport of it all, the fun of it all, the learning about it, the preferences, the things that matter, so that maybe we don't have this stigma as much. So anyway, back to it. So I have a Glock 43X, as we've shown, clear and safe. We have a Holosun HS 507K. I don't know all the specs on this. Maybe my next video I'll be a little bit more prepared and run some specs on it. But we don't need an optics mounting plate on the 43X. It's a direct fit. So as you can see, I have some suppressor height iron sight, so you can co-witness really well. You can see your red dot. Co-witness for my younger viewers means that you can see your dot in transparency with your iron sights.
Look. That red dot right there.
And I've also got a Zeb barrel and compensator on this thing. Let me explain to you guys what a compensator is if you don't know. It's a piece that adds on to the end of your barrel, and it makes the trajectory of your gas and your blowback pressure to come out of the top of the gun when you're firing it. So when you are firing the pistol, rather than the gun being as snappy and coming back in your hand, making your follow-up shots slower, you're gonna have a port here that allows the gases to go up, which in turn will keep that muzzle rise down, enabling quicker shots on target. I also have a flared magwell, cheapo from Amazon. I couldn't even tell you who the manufacturer was, honestly. I think I paid 20 bucks for this magwell, but it does pretty good job of helping put it in there. And aside from that, I have a Streamlight TLR sublight on here that's very easily added light to the firearm. It's very bright for its size. It's compact. And one thing I don't like to do is I don't like to change the internals on my Glocks, mostly any firearm that I'm carrying for the most part, because I don't like the idea of maybe something failing to function in the event that I need it to protect my life or the life of my family. So anyway, now that we've talked about the firearm a little bit, I want to talk about the mags and my experiences with the mags. So these are the traditional 10-round Glock mags that came with the 43X. I've heard some rumble about the 43X and Glock coming out with a all-metal mag that's supposed to hold 15, which I'd really like. It puts you more in the category of that 365. But I've also got a Shield Arms mag that's a 15-rounder. These have worked on and off for me. I've had a few of them that have functioned flawlessly. I've had a few that functioned really well until I left them loaded in my drawer. And then when I went to shoot them, the first 3 or 4 would work well, but as that spring tension went down, we tended to have a couple of issues with failure to feed and sometimes failure to eject.
Explain what spring tension is.
Okay, so spring tension. So in a factory Glock mag, you're going to have a spring inside, just like any other magazine, that forces this piece up. This is what holds the bullets. Well, or rather the casing and bullet, I apologize. So what happens is when that mag has been sitting and it's been loaded for a long period of time, there's tension on that spring, and over time it can weaken the spring. I don't tend to see that out of the Glock mags. However, I have seen that out of Shield mags causing failure to feeds. So I will use these Shield Arms mags on the range when I'm just practicing, but I've chosen not to use them when I'm carrying the firearm. One thing that I've really liked is I took a chance on a holster from Manalo, I think I'm saying that right, on Amazon. I think I paid like $25. I'm not sponsored by Glock or Manalo or any of those things. I'm just a consumer that's trying to give an honest review on it. This holster that I've got, it allows you to fit the gun with the compensator and the TLR7 in it just perfectly. And if you look, it's flush fit on the light, and the comp, because it's open-ended on the barrel, allows that to sit real nice and snug. And as you can see, I'm wearing jeans and a regular t-shirt, and you can tuck this, put the t-shirt on, and there's very little print. I mean, it's not a very large weapon as it is, but for what it is, it conceals pretty good. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about the gun. The reason I like the Glock 43X so much is because, number one, I don't have the biggest hands. I'm 5'7". My son's, I think, what are you, 5'3"? 5'3", 5'2", somewhere in there. And we're able to get a good grip around this gun. And I think a lot of being able to control recoil impulse and being able to make faster follow-up shots comes from you being able to manage the grip on your gun and get a good, firm handle on it. Yeah. And I've been able to do that, and my son's been able to do that. It is a bit snappy, and that's why we put the comp on it. But to be honest with you, it's not something that we can't manage. My wife shot this, my son shot this, and it's a really flat shooting gun once you put the comp on it, and especially for its size, super manageable. Like I said, I've got this thing zeroed at 15 yards, and we'll do another video on shooting it down the line. But we've done extensive shooting with this. I think I've got close to 1,600 rounds in this gun, and it has never had a hiccup unless I was running the Shields mag. As long as I was running the factory Glock magazine, this thing has ran flawlessly. I've shot subsonic ammo out of here that I've had for other guns, and even with the comp, it's cycled flawlessly. It's a very accurate firearm for its size, and I love it right on camera. I'm not used to it. Maybe next time we should take some notes before we get on camera and do it. Yeah. However, what I was gonna say is overall, like I said, we're not sponsored by any of these companies. Not Streamlight, not Holosun, not Glock. We're just simply trying to start a channel and talk to people about guns in a positive light.
Gun safety.
In gun safety. So we have a range here. We're lucky where we live. We have plenty of room. We have steel targets and whatnot set up in the back and a berm. But one of the main things that I want to talk to everybody about is when you're shooting a gun, you really need to pay attention to where these rounds are going. When you are aiming a gun, you need to really pay attention to where that muzzle's pointed at. If you're a kid and you're at home and you see your parents' guns left out for any reason, I don't care if it's in the car, I don't care if they left to the store and they forgot to put it away, if it's on top of the refrigerator, whatever the case may be.
Don't touch it.
You guys don't need to touch it.
Unless there's somebody outside of your house.
It doesn't matter what the situation is, guys. If your parents or your guardian or your loved one has not given you clear instruction to pick up that firearm or how to use that firearm, or you're in an event where you need to shoot, or you're ready to use that gun, there's really no reason for you younger people to be touching these without complete permission from whoever you're with. Accidents happen. They're very violent and they're very fast, and then a lot of bad can come from that. And I don't want to see any of you guys getting hurt. In the event that you need to carry the firearm at any point and you don't intend to use the firearm, there's one simple thing that will keep you guys out of trouble. One very, very simple thing. When I hold this gun, Luke, pay attention. When I hold this gun, and I hold any gun, you can hold a gun and simply not put your finger on the trigger.
Yep.
This is a very, 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 very important thing. I see people on YouTube, I see people all the time. The first thing they do is they grab this weapon and they put their finger in that trigger guard. You don't need to do that. It's quite the contrary. Very, very few times when I pick up a firearm in my life, I grab them every day off the nightstand. Every day I pick them up, I grab it off the nightstand and I put it in my waistband. Every day when I get out of the car, I fixate my firearm to make sure that it's comfortable for me when I pick it out. Never, 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 never do I have my finger in that trigger guard unless I'm ready to shoot this thing. There's just no reason for it. I'd like to do a couple more reviews down the line. I'll show you guys how to break this down and clean it appropriately. I'll show you guys how me and my son shoot this when we're at the range. And I'd like to go over it. I've got a few other guns, but I want to get started on this one and just see if we can get you guys interested in it. If it's something you guys like, and maybe we can provide some more content for you all. I really think that you'll like it, and I hope that you do, because the intent is to maybe make enough to get another gun and do some some training and some reviews with those. So if you could, please like and subscribe.
There.